Okay, it's February or March 1st, leaving Biscayne Bay, heading for Turks and Caicos and possibly Puerto Rico. This is day one, motoring out the channel. Perfect conditions. We should have some stronger northeast winds by 5 p.m. Okay, day one, 1 o'clock, our first squall, which I knew was coming. We got the lines ready to run, and we're all battened down and ready for it. Hopefully it don't hit us. Still, I'm beginning to think I should have waited till this passed through. We'll find out how long it lasts. The end of the first day on the water on our trip to Turks and Caicos through the Bahamas. This is where we are on the plotter, probably 30 miles off of the Bay of Biscayne. Another 30 to go before we get into the Bahamas. It's day two, first morning of the trip. We are currently cruising through the Bahama banks, heading towards Cuba, or the outskirt, southeastern corner of southwestern corner of the Bahamas. There's an island there, I think it's called Guincho Cay, 20 miles off Cuba. That's where we're heading. Okay, it is sunset on the second day of our trip. We have 51 miles left to go. We're doing 6.5 knots through the water, 6.5 over ground. The wind is kicking up at the moment. We've got some clouds forming. But today has been epic. The sea stage calmed all the way down. It was a great sail all day. This wind chop you're seeing right now just started, and it's a bad time for that because we're going through a section that has a lot of not exposed rocks, but what they call rocks that are awash, that are just below the surface. This is I just loaded this chart on here before my trip, so it's current. There's a shitload of rocks. So anyway, we got our job cut out for us for the next 2 hours. Hopefully this wind doesn't cause too much of a problem. Anyway, we should be arriving at that Cay I talked about tomorrow morning. Alright, it is the morning of the 4th. Just pulled up anchor at Guinchos. Probably butchering that pronunciation, K. The plan to skirt around the Bahamas and get to Turks and Caicos. I'm scrubbing that. Okay, it is March 4th, and it is coming up on 4 o'clock. We are coming back from that Cay that I was planning to wait out some weather for. This is just a return trip, and not necessarily back to the Keys. I think I might either go to Bimini or Nassau. It's the morning of March 7th. We just pulled up anchor at Williams Island, heading to anchor at Man o' War Key, which is basically the entrance if you're going to Nassau, the south side of the entrance. If we can make any good time, it's about a 30 mile sail today. If things go well, I'll try to make it to the north side of the entrance. It's another 20 miles or something like that. Well, this is what we're dealing with, trying to make our way to, I believe, Berry Island is where I hope to clear customs. But these are the conditions leading to weather, and I'm not sure we'll make it to Berry Island today, and we'll settle for anchoring overnight at Man o' War Key and maybe take an early shot at crossing the channel to Berry Island tomorrow. But we're making good progress, really. 5 knots over ground. I don't know what we're going through the water. My water speed indicator, I think, has picked up a barnacle. But life's good. Okay, just made it to what is it, Man o' War Anchorage, and very nice. This water is unbelievable. Leaving Man o' War Key, we're gonna make our way over to Chubb Marina on Berry Island. It's about 20 miles from here, to see if we can officially enter the Bahamas. Okay, this is a free anchorage at a private marina. They're getting ready for a fishing tournament, and all the sports fishers are coming in. This is Chubb Marina. I just went in and took care of the immigrations and customs paperwork here. I don't know if it's indicative of other places, but this is the moving the boat from Chubb's to Nassau. I forget the I think Shark something or other. I think it's the anchorage on the shoot, I don't know, westernmost tip of Nassau. Start making good time. 5.5 through the water, close hauled, first reef, full Genoa. It's all good. It is March 11th. We're currently in the West Bay on Nassau, Bahamas. For those that have made it this far in the video, I'm going to explain a few things that may or may not have been self-explanatory. One of the reasons I left Biscayne Bay was to, well, I had a certain weather window to skirt around the Bahamas, and so I took it. And the other point I wanted to make is why I rejected the Turks and Caicos goal. What I found out was, you know, obviously crossing the Gulf Stream, coming onto the Bahama bank, you have to be alert and awake. And so, you know, that wasn't a problem, because that was my first night. And then once you get on the Bahama bank and you start navigating that towards Cuba, there were three large clusters of obstructions, rocks, coral heads. And then on the way down there you had a few 20-mile apart objects, shipwrecks, so on and so forth, between where I entered the bank and at the end of the bank, which was Guancho's Cay, Cay. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I had to stay alert the whole time, basically, on the Bahama bank, especially going through the rock clusters. And by the time I got to Guancho's, I was wiped out. And the wind angle I was going to have to maintain after Guancho's was going to be through another rock cluster, and I was already wiped out. So basically I attempted to anchor at Guancho's Cay and try to get some rest, but the sea state was such that the swell was actually breaking on that cay, and the current was exposing my beam to that swell and those breakers. So there was no way to get any rest and continue on. So I turned around because the next rock cluster, I just didn't have the energy. So that's why I scrubbed the Turks and Caicos part of this video and decided to sail the Bahamas. Now, what I learned coming into the Bahamas, my first opportunity to get through customs and immigration was a private island. I think Berry Island. I think the whole thing's private, but definitely for sure and the cruise ships use it. Definitely for sure, Chubb's Marina, where I processed in at, is private. I think it's $100,000 a year, mega yachts. No place for me to be, but that's where I was. And on top of this $700 fee, Chubb's also charges a $115 fee to process you through. They assign you like 4 people. Very courteous, very nice place. They escort you all around, take you through the process. That was my experience there. So the total fee that I paid was like $820. Anyway, so I'm here now, and the place is great. Glad I'm here. Another thing is, if I ever come back, and I'm sure I will, I want to talk to somebody that has knowledge, in-depth knowledge of this place, because just looking at a map and the weather and picking an anchorage, it's a little more difficult than that, because you have a current that is seemingly always opposing the wind and exposes your beam to rollers all day long. So I'm sure there's excellent anchorages, but knowing where they are before you come down here would be a good idea. Thirdly, this will be the end of the video, because we're basically done. And if I make another one on the way back, it'll be just going to Mobile. But what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to sail back west, and I'm going to probably going to go to Williams Island, or possibly Man-o-War Key, because those were excellent anchorages. The current and the wind were lined up. You were like on a rail. So as far as swimming and doing boat maintenance, they're excellent. And especially Williams Island, that's on the west end of the Bahamas, where I think maybe, just guessing, but I assume you're about 100 miles across the Gulf back to the Keys. So it's an excellent spot to get an early start and land in the Keys.